Alright guys, so around 2 weeks ago, I posted this video here in the middle, my newest CS2 investment, $10,000. And in that video, I talked about a CS2 investment that I was making. I was attempting to spend around $10,000 on a new bet in the CS2 markets that I was making. But now, here we are 2 or 3 weeks later, and I am selling everything. And that might not seem that crazy or weird to you or whatever, but that's pretty unusual for me. I don't make short-term bets or short-term plays in any kind of markets, let alone the CS2 markets very often. But some things have changed. So in this video today, I want to go over what my investment was, what I am selling, how much money I think I'm going to make or how much money I will make off this, and what I just think about this investment overall going forward in the future. So that's what we're going to be talking about in this video today. Today's video is sponsored by Skinland, and they're offering you a $10 bonus right now if you go over and sell your skins to them. All you have to do is click on the skins that you're looking to get rid of and then select one of their many convenient payout options, and that's it. But it gets even better because they're also offering you the ability to get some of your money instantly cashed out. No more waiting for that annoying 7-day trade hold. You can get some of your money right away. Skinland is now the official partner of Team Vitality, one of the biggest CS2 teams in the world. The best work with the best, and even Team Vitality chooses Skinland. Also, if you're looking to change up your inventory and buy some skins, due to the recent market crashes, prices are way down. So if there is a knife, a glove, an expensive skin that you've been wanting for a long time, you might want to go check out Skinland with that first link in the description below right now. So here is a spreadsheet of the investments that I made. Now, again, I said I was trying to spend around $10,000. We can go through here and go through the paid real quick and kind of scroll down, and my spreadsheet will tell me, how much we spent in total. This is going to be $7,400, $7,419 that we spent. So right around $7,500. We didn't get it all the way to $10,000. Some of that was because some trades got reversed and stuff like that. I don't know, just for whatever reason, it was supposed to be close to $10,000. And ended up being more like $7,500. But again, on this $7,500 that I spent, I was expecting to make around $1,500 profit if I was going to decide to sell it in the short term, but I wasn't sure if I was going to sell these in the short term. And again, what these investments are is these are coverts. These are all covert skins after the trade up update, after the gold trade up update. These are coverts from collections that were desirable for trade ups. And these were also coverts from collections where the trade ups were insanely profitable. I was investing in anything I could get my hands on that met one of two criterias, hopefully both criterias. One, the fact that the ROI on the trade up was insanely profitable. So my bet there was that, hey, these trade ups aren't going to remain this insanely profitable forever. So I think, yes, the golds will probably come down a little bit, which a lot of them have, but also the coverts will probably continue to raise in price as people continue to buy them up for investments, buy them up to do trade ups. We've seen people doing insane trade ups all over the place. Onipixel been spamming trade ups. Flary's been going crazy on trade ups. All different kinds of people making content and their viewers, and everybody's been going crazy on trade ups. So I wanted to find trade ups that were profitable, but then also I was buying coverts that had big price discrepancies between China and the West, because that was just kind of like an arbitrage opportunity. So I was getting an arbitrage opportunity on top of a potential, of the investment to also increase. And I wasn't sure exactly what I was going to do with these. Again, there was some world where if they went up a lot in the short term, I could potentially sell them, or if things change in the short term, I could potentially sell them, or I could potentially just hold them as long-term investments. Now, again, I had never previously been somebody who invested in skins that much. Most of my big investments, have been stuff like stickers or capsules or cases. Cases have been, 95% plus of all my CS2 investments. Some trade up skins here and there, now I'm getting into some armory items here and there. Now that armory stuff's going discontinued, but I'd never really invested in skins, especially I had never invested in coverts or golds ever, because again, the fundamentals with coverts and golds had never really just been that great. They had been items where, the supply was stable or increasing. And, when you have trade up skins, though, those supplies, they can decrease over time. But when you have coverts that they don't trade up into anything, stuff just trades up into them, the fundamentals weren't really that insane for them. They were actually quite bad. The supply was just going to keep increasing over time. And yeah, they were going to get older, and yeah, the player base was going to grow, and they could get some increases that way, but they're also more expensive. And, also every other item in CS2 is getting the increases from, inflation and the player base increasing and all that stuff. So I don't know. Coverts had never been the best in terms of ROI. They had never been one of my favorite investments. But again, things change with being able to actually trade up coverts. coverts. That was a very, very good thing for coverts, but obviously the prices started to explode. But still, I don't think coverts are that insane of a long-term investment. So the more I thought about it, I didn't really want to be invested, especially so heavily. Again, $7,500, that's a pretty big investment. Didn't want to be invested so heavily in coverts in the long term, because I still just think, even if I wanted to be invested in, like trading up into golds or whatever, you'd be better off investing in the pinks or the purples or the blues or whatever. Every time I've looked at stuff, the things below the high tier stuff end up outperforming them in the long run. Like, I really think that coverts are going to be, probably the worst ROI. Like, from today to a year from now, I really think the skins below these coverts are going to outperform them in terms of, potential. Now, yes, obviously coverts exploded over the last couple like weeks or months or whatever because we had this new update. Like, things fundamentally change. But now that we know what those fundamental changes are, like going forward in the future, I don't think coverts are necessarily going to be the things that I want to hang on to. So here were some of the things I bought and like how much I paid for everything and stuff. Like, some of this is actually pretty crazy. I bought a couple of low float minimal wear 5.7 hyper beasts. These are for like certain glove trade ups and stuff like that. I bought these for $399 and $389.99. And again, I bought these because even at these prices, the trade ups were looking to be insanely profitable. Now, this was crazy. I was able to sell these two for $575 each. Again, I made what is this? A total of $360 on two low float minimal wear 5.7 hyper beasts. I was very, very worried about this. I was worried about, paying this much for these skins and if that would be a good choice or not. But these ended up being some of my best, returns profit wise or like percentage wise and stuff. I spent a lot of money on low float factory new traders as well. Again, those are for certain glove trade ups. I spent a lot of money on P90 Asimovs. These ended up not going that good. I didn't really make that great of a return on the P90 Asimovs. These were already so expensive. These did not keep going up. The golds these were, again, when I bought these were profitable trade ups, but they ended up coming down. So again, that's something I want to show you guys real quick. If we go on CS2 Locker and we look, here is the roll cage. This is one of the skins that people do use for trade ups and stuff like that. If you buy 5 of these just randomly from the market, you're going to spend about $500, and now your expected return is $493. You're looking at a negative ROI. This is going to get you, Karambit gamma Dopplers and M9 gamma Dopplers and stuff like that. So this used to be a 20, 30, 40, 50% profitable ROI trade up, but now it's actually in the negative. This is not profitable anymore. Also, you have FAMAS bad trips, obviously fever case trade ups. That's golds that people really like. Again, you're seeing an 18% negative ROI. And then you have player twos. I believe this is a Prisma 2 case. Again, you have Dopplers and really cool stuff, Talon Dopplers and Stiletto Dopplers and knives that people really, really like. But again, you're looking at a negative 15% ROI. So again, these ROIs were all previously profitable, but as I saw golds coming down and also the coverts going up, I was like, I probably don't want to be in this anymore. I think I got most of the short-term profit out of these that I could, and that's why I started to consider selling. That's why I did start selling off a lot of this stuff. Again, you can see here that I only have a couple things left unsold. The only two things I still have left unsold are these low float factory new traders. But these just don't really sell that often. I have them listed at high prices. Again, a couple of these did sell for $263. I'm going to be patient with these. I'm going to wait for the rest of these to sell. But everything else that I did have sold. Again, some of this stuff I bought from Chinese marketplaces. I'm trying to do like an arbitrage. Some of these things I just bought, strictly off float and sold them. Some of these things I made a ton of money on. Some of these things I got for really, really low prices. Because again, this was a crazy time in the market when people didn't really know what stuff was worth. People were trying to quick sell stuff. People were selling stuff all over the place, buy and sell and whatever. Some of these things I got at amazing prices. Some of them I got on bad prices, whatever. We can sort by profit and loss to see, again, the stuff I made the most money off of was these 5.7 Hyper Beasts, then these couple traders. I have an M4 Mecha Industries. I made $34 on. M4 Hyper Beast I made $32 on. A couple of Chantico Fire I made about $30 on. I had an Empress that I made about 30. So I made $30 like a bunch of different times on a lot of this stuff, and a lot of these ROIs are actually insane as well. Like the actual percent profit that I made on this stuff. I mean, this Empress, I bought it for $41. I sold it for $70.65. This is after fees on all this stuff. These are the profits that I was making. 72.3% gains, crazy. I had a bunch of low float minimal wear traders. These did insanely well. I was buying these for around $50, selling them for around $75. Again, 51.8% profit on all those. At that M4 Mecha Industries, bought for $66, sold for $100, 51% profit. Had an Ocean Drive Desert Eagle here, $51, $77, 49% profit. So a lot of this stuff we were doing really, really good on. A ton of stuff that again, this is in 2 or 3 weeks. A lot of stuff that I was able to make 30, 40, 50, 60, 70% profit on. And that's another reason why I wanted to sell. Again, I wanted to sell because there wasn't any Chinese market arbitrage anymore. The Chinese and the Western market prices came together. There wasn't profitable ROI on any of these trade-ups anymore. So I don't think there's necessarily more, room for the coverts to go and squeeze that up, because now a lot of these trade-ups are unprofitable. And I was already up such a big percentage in the last 2 or 3 weeks that to me it was a profit percentage that I was okay enough with. Now, again, not all of these went well. Again, some of these I bought at bad prices. Some of these just didn't go up. Some of these were already overpriced. Here I bought a bad trip that I lost 6% on. I bought Elite Musio that I lost 4% on. M4 Temucal that I lost 1% on. But you can see here, not a lot of stuff I lost on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 items overall that I lost money on, but that's okay. The biggest loss I had was losing $3. And again, when my biggest winners were, making hundreds of dollars, like this still went okay. This was still a very, very profitable venture. Now, I can look and see, overall what our total profit was. I'm not going to include these 2 things I haven't sold yet, but let's just scroll through the profit and loss, not including those things. And right now we are looking at a $1,578 profit. And again, I do want to look at these factory new traders to try to get an idea of what we could potentially make, because again, these other factory new traders, they made about $75 profit. So again, I said like $1,500, but if you throw in an extra $150 that I might still make from these other 2, we might be looking at like $1,650 or $1,700 profit in just a matter of weeks. Now again, we spent about $7,500 total, so if we do $1,700 divided by $7,500, you're talking about 23% profit over the course of 2 or 3 weeks. Now, did I hope to probably make more than that? Yeah, sure. I was seeing, big discrepancies between the ROIs, and I saw a big opportunity with these coverts, and that's why I went so aggressively. I saw an opportunity to make money. That's why I was willing to put up, $10,000. But like I said, some of these got trade reversed. Some of these deals didn't go through. Some of them just got canceled. People started trade reversing and stuff because some of these coverts ended up at, such huge price discrepancies and everything. But I did invest in coverts very, very heavily. I did make a nice amount of money. I still have a couple of skins left to sell, but I'm going to get out of those soon. And again, I saw an opportunity, and now a lot of those opportunities have kind of dried up or changed. And overall, I just don't want to be invested in these coverts in the long term because I don't think the opportunity is that great there. And like I said, this is very rare for me. This is not something I do very often. I am not a guy who does a lot of short-term plays. I think short-term plays are very speculative. I think short-term plays are, more akin to gambling than long-term plays are. Short-term, anything can happen. You could have market crashes. You could have random bull runs. You could have random spikes. Like, I don't know. Also, if you're doing a bunch of short-term plays, like getting in and out, you're paying fees a lot too, and fees are pretty gross and add up. I want to pay fees once. I want to buy, I want to sell, I want to make all my money. I like to invest in things in the long term. The longer you hold stuff, the higher percentage chance you have of making money. Like that just is what it is. But this covert opportunity was, I think, pretty unique and pretty different. So that's why I went so aggressive. But like I said, all the things that I was looking for and all the reasons why I was investing, those things are non-existent anymore. And that's why I'm selling. That's why I'm getting out. But I just wanted to give you guys an update. Again, I spent around $7,500 on all these coverts. Some of them I did really well on. Some of them I did not so well on. But overall, I made about hopefully around $1,700 in the matter of 2 or 3 weeks. And hey, that's something I'm pretty happy with. Again, a 23% return. That's nothing to scoff at in the matter of a couple of weeks. So, I don't know. Could it have gone a little bit better? Could I maybe timed it up a little bit better, or, done things a little bit smarter, or made a little bit more money? Sure. But hey, we're living, we're learning, and overall, we're making money. Profit's profit. I'm not going to complain. Pretty much it for this video today, guys. Hopefully I catch you in the next one. Until then, peace.